In the context of a marriage, to separate is not permitted except for sexual immorality. Jesus said, "What God paired together, men must not separate." Paul wrote, "To the ones having married I command, not I but the Lord, that a wife is not to separate from her husband." Paul wrote, "A husband is not to leave his wife." And again, "Have you been bound to a woman? Do not seek a release." In the case of a believer with an unbeliever, Paul wrote, "If any brother has an unbelieving wife, and this one consents to dwell with him, he must not leave her. And if any woman has an unbelieving husband, and this one consents to dwell with her, she must not leave her husband." Now, it doesn't mean that someone may not be separated in a passive sense. As Paul wrote, "Indeed, she may be separated," in the passive voice. And again, have you been released in a passive voice from a woman? Here, the passive voice is used to show that the subject is the recipient of the action. He's not the one doing the action. And that can be something that may happen. Jesus said, "I say to you that everyone sending away his wife, except for sexual immorality, is causing her to be caused to commit adultery." So here, Jesus gave an exception for someone to be sending away their spouse, that is, sexual immorality. But apart from this exception, Jesus is saying that someone sending away his wife is causing her to be caused to commit adultery. And so Jesus is saying here that the person doing the sending away will be guilty of causing their spouse to be in such a situation where they could be caused to commit adultery, which is why it is commanded to not be sending away one's own spouse except for sexual immorality.